Robin, and welcome to ST Global News. From the unexpected discovery of a rare relic of an obscure saint by a group of high schoolers in Dublin to the enrollment of 275 children as altar service in the Syro-Malabar Church of Ireland, we have many stories to cover. While helping to move the school's altar, 5th-year students at St. Vincent Secondary School in Glasnevin made an unexpected discovery. They discovered a sealed package hidden beneath the false bottom of the altar, which was later found to contain a vial of blood believed to belong to Saint Hilary, dating back to the 2nd or 3rd century. It is believed that the relic was originally removed from the Roman catacombs and sent to Dublin at the request of the Christian Brothers sometime in the 1700s.
The students of St. Vincent Secondary School in Glasnevin never expected to uncover something rare and valuable, a saint's relic, while moving the school's altar from an upstairs room to the hall. While helping with the preparations for a graduation ceremony, a group of students discovered a vial of blood belonging to Saint Hilary. Colin Sheridan, Connor Brogan Carr, Munasir Omar, Jonathan Tate, and Ethan Bryan were carrying the altar down the stairs along with the school caretaker Dermot Swartz. There was a change in the usual route, so they had to tilt it in the unusual way and make it fit to the new route. As they carried the altar down the stairs, Ethan noticed that the altar has a false bottom, which was moving, and then it fell through. The students brought the large wooden package, which had a handwritten label in Latin on top, along with the date 1787, to the principal's office. The staff translated the text and found out that the sealed package contains remains of a saint. Principal Mary Quinn, a former history teacher, promptly contacted the National Museum and staff of Glasnevin Cemetery for guidance. She also reached out to the archives of Edmund Rice Trust, to which the former Christian Brothers School belongs. All signs suggested that the relic was authentic, so the school sought expertise of a Catholic Church's specialist in such matters, Father William Purcell, who is the custodian of a collection of more than 2,000 relics. As Father Purcell arrived with his toolkit and advised the principal to carefully remove the written note on top of the package, a wooden box was revealed with letters GA and a number of lines of text, suggesting that the package originated in Nantes, France. It was firmly nailed shut, so Father Purcell pressed the lid open. When the lid was fully removed, it revealed an ornate green and red box with red wax seals, and in the window of the box sat another envelope with English writing on it. Father Purcell opened the envelope and unfolded a printed certificate bearing an embossed stamp in the bottom of the left corner. It read, Reverend John Augustine Grease, authentication of the body of Saint Hilary, martyr, 1878, from Rome. Consultation with Edmund Rice Trust indicated that the altar was brought to St. Vincent's from O'Connell School in the city centre over 30 years ago. However, it seems that no one was aware it contained a relic. Saint Hilary was a little-known martyr who was recognized as a saint before the Vatican's formal canonization process was established. The relic is believed to date back to the 2nd or 3rd century, and the vial of blood was likely taken from the Roman catacombs and sent to Dublin at the request of the Christian Brothers in the 1700s. The school has informed the Diocese of Dublin about the discovery, and the next step is to notify the Vatican. Principal Quinn stated that their current priority is to find a secure and appropriate location where the relic can be preserved and made accessible for future generation of students.
Did you know Pope Leo XIV is actually the godfather of Peruvian Mildred Camacho, and she was even named after his mother? Now 29, Mildred fondly remembers the time she spent with him back when he was just Father Robert Prevost. She dreams of meeting him again someday, just to say from the heart, Godfather, we love you.
Live with joy and live happily. Keep me in your prayers and I will keep you in mind. That was Mildred Camacho's last conversation with her godfather, then Cardinal Robert Prevost, now Pope Leo XIV, when he returned to Chulucanas to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the diocese. There is quite a story behind how Pope Leo XIV became her godfather. It all began decades ago when Mildred's father, Hector Camacho, was serving as an altar boy at the Cathedral of Chulucanas in Piura district of Peru. At that time, then Father Prevost had just arrived in Peru as an Augustinian missionary, where he worked from 1985 to 1986. Years later, Camacho moved to Trujillo to study, where he met Father Prevost again. Father Prevost gave Camacho spiritual guidance and urged him to do charities. When Father Prevost traveled to the United States following his mother's passing, Camacho requested permission to name his daughter Mildred in her honor. He later also asked Father Prevost to be her godfather. The baptism took place at St. Joseph the Worker Parish in Chulucanas, and it forever marked Mildred's life. Though she doesn't have much memories of seeing Father Prevost, but his teachings were always present in her life. She cherishes the emails sent to her by then Father Prevost and fondly recalls how whenever she attended a mass or event where he was present, her godfather always took time to greet her and her family. The last time she saw him was on her birthday, August 10, 2024, when Cardinal Prevost returned to Chulucanas to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the diocese. 29-year-old Mildred is a mother of 2 daughters and is a devotee of St. John Paul II. She said in an interview with EWTN Nauticus that she would love to tell the Holy Father that she had admired him since she was little and it's not a recent thing. She yearns to see her godfather again, to be able to see him up close, hug him and say, "Godfather, we love you."
Hundreds of pro-life advocates from across Canada gathered on Parliament Hill in Ottawa for the 2025 National March for Life. Held on May 8th, the event carried the theme Protection at Conception. The official event began at 12:30 p.m. as the packed Parliament Hill listened to political, cultural and spiritual leaders share personal testimonies and call for a renewed commitment to a culture of life, followed by a powerful rally where pro-life advocates chanted slogans, filling the streets in support of the rights of the unborn.
On the morning of May 8, hundreds of Canadian pro-life advocates gathered on Parliament Hill in Ottawa for the 2025 National March for Life. The event coincided with the historic moment as the world eagerly waited for the announcement of the next leader of the Catholic Church. While curiosity stirred through the crowd over who would become the 267th Pope, Matt Wojciechowski, Vice President of Campaign Life Coalitions, stepped up to the stage and shared the much-anticipated news. As the announcement reached the audience, excitement surged, but the joy was twofold. The participants were not only thrilled about the new Pope, but also energized to continue the 28th Annual March for Life. The theme of 2025, Protection at Conception, was inspired by a 2021 survey of over 5,000 biologists, where 96% agreed that life begins at fertilization. The event also drew inspiration from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 13, verses 31 to 32. The kingdom of heaven is like mustard seed that a person took and sowed into the field. It is the smallest of all seeds, yet when full grown, it is the largest of plants. Attendees advocated for a new legislation to safeguard life in the womb and expressed strong opposition to abortion. The day's event officially began at 12:30 p.m. on a packed Parliament Hill. Political, cultural and spiritual leaders addressed the crowd, sharing personal testimonies and rallying support to restore a culture of life. Wojciechowski told the crowd, quote, "We are here today because this is the place where laws are created, policies are made and where peoples are elected to serve. Everyone in that building has a duty to legally protect children in the womb." He continued, "Shame on our Prime Minister for not doing anything about this. Shame on every political leader who calls this killing a choice. And shame on every member of Parliament who supports the killing of God's precious children." End quote. Jeff Gunnarsson, Campaign Life's national president, also addressed the crowd, connecting the day's message with political movement and referencing Canada's recent election. Alex Cadenberg, Executive Director of Euthanasia Prevention Coalition, added insight into Canada's legal context, pointing out the country's unusual position where legal protection for human life only begins at birth. He emphasized that practices like infanticide and medical assistance in dying are still legally permitted in certain cases. He described the march as an important step toward changing this national narrative. As part of the Silent No More campaign, Michelle Lowe shared a moving personal testimony. testimony about undergoing abortion at the age of 16, and those followed years after.
Much to my surprise, I found Jesus and His abundant mercy. I was forgiven, and I have children waiting for me in heaven. Every baby deserves protection at conception, and spreading this message has helped me to become silent.
At 1:30 p.m., participants began the traditional march through the downtown Ottawa, holding handmade signs, chanting in solidarity, and filling the street with their passionate support for the unborn. The march concluded around 2:30 p.m. as the rally returned to the Parliament Hill. As the events came to a close, pro-life supporters made their stance clear with slogans and unwavering determination. Life must be protected from conception, and they are ready to keep fighting for it.
The Syro-Malabar Catholic Church in Ireland hosted Saviour Fest 2025, a vibrant gathering of altar servers and animators on May 17th at the Church of the Guardian Angel in Blackrock. The event saw the enrollment of 275 children as altar servers who received their holy vestments in a ceremony marked by prayer, teaching and celebration. Auxiliary Bishop Donald Roche of Dublin led the Holy Mass, urging the young participants to be beacons of holiness in their schools and communities. The Syro-Malabar Catholic Church in Ireland held Saviour Fest 2025, a gathering of altar servers and animators on May 17th at the Church of the Guardian Angel in Blackrock. During the event, 275 children from the Syro-Malabar community were enrolled as altar servers and received their holy vestments. Saviour Fest 2025, named after St. Dominic Savio, the patron saint of altar service, began with a Holy Mass celebrated by Bishop Donald Roche, Auxiliary Bishop of Dublin. In his homily, Bishop Roche encouraged the altar servers to grow in holiness and become role models in the secular world, particularly in their schools among other children. The event was coordinated by Father Sebastian Vellamatara, Director of Altar Service for the Dublin region, and Suthish Joseph, the Secretary. Also present were Father Joseph Matthew Oliakadil, National Coordinator of the Syro-Malabar Catholic Church in Ireland, and Father Baiju Davis Kannampilli, Chaplain of the Syro-Malabar Blackrock Mass Centre. The Missionaries of Apostolic Grace, a UK-based lay Catholic missionary movement, led talks and sessions for the newly enrolled altar service and their 40 animators. Speakers included Dhanish Thomas and Anne Mary from the Missionaries of Apostolic Grace, Brother Jason Thomas Tito, a seminarian under the Archdiocese of Birmingham, and Father Prince Matthew, a Camillian priest and chaplain at Mater Hospital, Dublin, who also serves as the spiritual director of the Missionaries of Apostolic Grace. Father Vellamatara also delivered a talk to the animators on Mane Nobiscum Domine, the apostolic letter of Pope John Paul II on the Holy Eucharist, to help guide them in their mission of supporting the altar service. The Syro-Malabar Catholic Church in Dublin serves a diaspora community of nearly 5,000 faithful. While under the jurisdiction of the Archdiocese of Dublin, the Syro-Malabar community continues to thrive spiritually, maintaining its cultural and liturgical heritage. That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.